I already did. I hit everything on the day.
Yeah, you say that every time.
All right, people. As you can see, it is time for Classic Conversations with JT and Low, and you just heard. I'm put everything on silent. Y'all heard that, right? Hey, yo, what's happening, people? As I just said, it is time for Classic Conversations with JT and Low.
And that's the cop.
To my immediate right is my man Angelo Sykes, Mr. Uptown Comedy Corner. What's happening, my guy? How you
What's
doing,
good, brother? How you feeling, man?
Hey, man, I refuse to do it.
How about that?
And MJ, Mr. A, I am here, and I got a book bag tonight. What's
This nigga, who? Everything's all good, bro. Everything's good.
my man? So we're gonna get this thing going, man. We got some good stuff happening tonight. We got talking about some stuff that's real in the culture, real in our community. But before we get going, as always, you know, we got to give props where props is supposed to be. Then I'm gonna get back into the whole phone number and tag and all that. But right now we got to catch up on some stuff because we forgot to do some stuff last week. So, Angelo, go ahead, brother.
Well, first of all, shout out to my nephew Zion Bracey, graduating from Chapel Hill High School on Friday. This coming Friday, man. So it's kind of dope, you know. Somebody's getting old around here. That's all I know, man. It's not me, but somebody. It ain't me.
I know a lot of people.
But man, this is crazy, man. But yeah, Zion's graduating Friday. Head off to Kennesaw after this. So, and he's got excellent grades, man. Really proud of him. He's gonna be able to get some of that Hope money, and so that's always a good thing.
Yes, sir.
But then I got to shout out, man, that Asa.
2 times.
Man. So, you know, what's crazy about this is the fact that the other day we got a call from one of the teachers and coaches from the school, Coach Nash, called and was like, "Hey, man, why y'all out here this award ceremony? Ace got another award." I said, "Another one?" He said, "Yeah, it's the 3rd one for the night." I said, "Man, Ace ain't said nothing to us about no award ceremony." So, you know, so Robbie texted me. I said, "Shoot, he ain't said it to me. He ain't said it to her." So she go ask him, like, "Hey, so why you didn't say nothing about the award ceremony?" He said, "I was studying."
Now, just in case y'all didn't get what just happened here, this young man is getting an award for educational things. During that time, this is real time, he's getting an award, his 3rd one of the night. And the reason that he wasn't there was because he was studying.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to make sure y'all get that.
Hey, man. Hey, the job's not done. You know, he started off, I think, this school year, he was like ranked like 9th or 10th overall, you know, and I think right now he's like top 2. I mean, he's like right there at the top of the
He
class.
aiming for number 1.
I mean,
so
really?
yeah,
I mean, he got to be.
So he's on a you know, 105, I think, you know, 99 was the lowest grade, and something too. So, you know.
We got a 4. About that, you know.
Yeah, no, I'm just so proud of it, man. Oh, man, when I said on the thing, man, you know, moving in silence, that's him, man. He don't fashion, and but he just to do what he does, man. You know, the letters, you know, USC the other day, Dartmouth.
Stop. Because sometimes I think some of the things just fly across people's heads out there. The man said Dartmouth.
Yeah.
Hear that? Yeah. So just in case you were mistaken thinking there's no way. Dartmouth.
Yeah.
Ivy League already calling.
Yeah.
And they're not asking him to play ball, people.
Nah, they're not asking to play no
The ball.
They're not asking him to play ball.
It's it's just fun to watch. It's just fun to watch. That he did. Y'all saw the AP calculus won the war. Out that spade game, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Go to Vegas.
Proud of that kid though.
Dwayne, go ahead and give it to And before we get started into the number one Tupperware play anyway.
He brought his own Tupperware.
That's
Number one.
Well, nobody getting none of mine. I wasn't be looking at the same. Let's get this thing going, man. Listen,
Hey,
go ahead.
How we doing? Huh? Okay.
We're gonna get this thing going, man. Great conversation tonight. First off, the reason some of the subject matter that we because you are following them. So what I need for you to do is do the same thing with us. So, Angela.
Now.
Let's go and get that done, man.
What they gotta do, Dwayne?
Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button.
It's an arrow that points. Just hit it. Hit it, and then put other people's name. Just everybody, just click right by it and send it to them. And if they don't want to mess with you, now you know who they are. Man, 500-160 station for our community. We are talking about recently WNBA, Caitlin Clark, the white wonder of the WNBA, of the NBA of last year's draft, of the WNBA of last year's draft, have brought eyes towards a little bit of Magic Johnson and Larry
No,
Bird.
it doesn't.
Stop, man. It does remind you a little bit of it. To the league, not people. Larry.
Female Larry Bird, but there's probably 30
I just said a little bit.
WNBA basketball players.
Has
You're
eyes
going-
on
you're
it.
going-
You're talking about basketball.
See,
You're talking
You're
about
gonna-
basketball skills.
No,
That's
no.
not what he said, though. He said that Johnson, in terms of coming into the league,
What I'm
game
talking
between
about.
the WNBA and there's never been two other people.
That's all I'm talking about. Just
The whole
viewership,
hype,
bro.
the whole hype of two people.
Talking
Feel
about
right
the
there, boy.
initial reaction. We're not of them coming to the league. It brought viewership to the WNBA. It made the everything like that has changed. Just like when Magic and Bird. After that, that's all I'm saying. Now, there was a dust up. Caitlin Clark fouled Angel Reese pretty,
Foul.
Yeah, basketball foul. There was supposedly some racial comments or whatever, all of this type stuff. And Griffin III, he is a retired NFL football player, and Reese hates that woman. Looks like. That came back and said, this by just when you don't know this woman and you're just looking at this woman and you can all through and say that she actually hates someone. Can't have a conversation. Is actually married for the second time to. With that being said, again, I want to take them out of it. Because again, out of it and say, you know, how is it that have no access to the struggle of a black woman? Or something.
I was gonna stay out of it, but I'm gonna get right.
No.
Straight bullshit. You announced the Pittsburgh player.
I said it, Pittsburgh.
That's not how that went at all.
How did it go
The
then?
actual foul was Angela fouled. Before that even happened,
You're wrong.
Somebody run the tape. Somebody run the tape.
First of all,
should have been a
Somebody
flag.
run the tape.
Should have been a flag. There was
First of all-
two fouls.
he did not.
I don't watch WNBA.
She's got the ball rebound. It should have been a foul. She did, but it wasn't.
She fouled. I thought they called it.
They did not call. That's why she went back up for the shot, and then she got fouled. It wasn't
Okay,
called.
all right. I'm loud and wrong. Shit.
Well, the foul or not. Forget all that.
He does. I mean, that's the shit. We always be hypersensitive. Because he's married to a white woman, you saying his mother's not black? He's
She's
black.
not.
His mother's
Is
black.
his mother black, anybody?
Yes, his mother's
It
black.
is? Okay.
His mother. So we can't be hypersensitive. It's like if you say hello to a black person, they want, oh, it's racist. It's racist. No. What it is, they're hyping that up. One of the players is, she's probably, now there's a lot of WM, but Angel isn't one of them.
Wait.
And they're hyping it up.
Let's. This is what I'm saying.
Okay, I'll deal with that part of it.
Take that
Take
part
that
out.
part of it out.
Let's just.
A white woman, if you, he speaks up on a lot of black issues. He was one of the first to speak out on that. In totality, it wasn't just that one play. Podcast and other things that's happened to the two. Got the best of her, and then that's what she did. The hands for that, but Caitlin Clark's one of the dirtiest. I think everything's been taken out, but to attack that man, going back to what you're saying, to attack that doesn't take his blackness away. And I just think it's BS that everybody wants to make a racial issue.
First of all, I gotta start by saying I don't want to leave that issue out. Just brief, basketball play that we see every night on college shows, rec ball, you with. and it was called, and they gave her a flavoring. Responded like any basketball player responds when like any single night of every single game, whether it's NBA, WNBA, whatever is how did you take the way Angel Reese got up and attacked the girl as hate? How did he take
it on that?
He
said that
did base it on that. He said
on his podcast, he those two for years. That's it's helped them both because kept their kept their name out there. Clark, if he would have kept his critique of his comment on you married to a white woman, so he implied that you married to a white woman, so what do you know about a black
basketball? That's not basketball. No. Well, how is it sensitive if you say I hate someone? It goes deep. You know what I mean? Now they showed them when they played on all anything. Stuff. There was never no hate. Why would RG3 have the? It's this woman. It's this woman. For Ryan. Do I agree with all of his takes on the race? RG3 decided to say something like, times do we hear white people, black people respond? It's not the point. It's the point that had he any other player outside of that particular somebody doesn't get pushed and jump up in somebody's face.
Okay.
But that's what he said. That's hate. How's that hate?
On the actual podcast where he said it, if you watched it, he talked in totality, everything that went back and forth.
What he said was the eyes of her when she attacked when it Caitlin Clark was hate. That's what he said. How does the eyes this woman getting up pissed off because somebody pushed her down? That's all I'm saying.
Damn, do that. Don't do that.
Don't do what? Lie?
Don't bring hate into it. Don't bring hate into it. You're right.
Well, you're surprising me, man. Actually, let me change that. You feel that saying that she hated her was?
It was okay. What I'm saying
That's what you're saying.
Just made his take on it was meant that as a downgrade. He just said, look, these two obviously don't get along because anytime other than the Olympics, they do have some friction. They always have. A lot of it was brought on by Caitlin Clark. Tournament, and they let her shit go because she did the same gesture. And when Angel did it, they got upset about it. So I'm just saying, I think he was because I like RG3 in the way he commentates, and he takes up for a lot of black causes. So I think when he was made to look like a female, I don't see it at all.
I see. I think what you're missing is this Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese scenario has turned into Angel Reese the villain, Caitlin Clark the hero. That's what you're missing. Angel Reese did what Angel Reese did one time to Caitlin Clark, what Caitlin Clark did the entire tournament.
I agree.
Every game, Caitlin Clark did the same thing to every team that she beat. Caitlin Clark did it one time when they got eliminated for the ship. She did the same thing, and they turned Angel Reese into a villain. Now, who did this? Who turned her into a villain? This same media platform made Angel Reese look like she was a villain for doing what Caitlin Clark did to every single person. So
I
now
agree
you
with
bring
that.
them into.
They've been going back and forth.
No, see, you're missing the point again. Who's the they? The media's been going back and forth. You haven't heard Angel Reese say nothing about this woman. You don't hear her going on no rampage, no podcast jumps, talking about Caitlin. She don't even talk about her. The media made Angel Reese a villain. They turned her into a villain, which was unfair, and they only turned her into a villain because she did something to this white athlete. You can't say if Caitlin Clark was any other race, this would be a story, and you know it wouldn't be, MJ. They became a story because of the black.
I agree
athlete.
with that part of it. So
this is what I'm saying.
Everybody's being hypersensitive, attacking RG3 like he's never supported a black issue. So now he can't talk on being a black man.
No, it's why would you be again? The point being, they turned Angel Reese into a villain, and what RG3 did was up the villain context by saying she hated her. I see hate in her eyes. That's junk. That's lame.
I don't think he meant it that way. He may have said it.
I don't think he meant it that way. How else can you mean hate? How else you mean hate?
People over-describe
How you describe hate in someone's eyes? You know what I said? Hate in somebody's eyes? When that boy Rodney Hitton was dragged out, did you see how those white guys looked at this man as he walked out? That was hate. That's hate. They looked at that man with nothing but hate in their eyes. So you're saying Angel Reese looked at him the same?
He ran down an innocent police officer.
So you saw so that's my point. That's my point. That's how deep hate goes.
Okay.
So you're saying Angel Reese hate Caitlin Clark? It's just nonsense. But again, it goes into the villain tone. That's the point you're missing. They're making her into a villain, and it's unfair to make her into a villain. By doing something, by making her into a villain by doing something that happens all the time. That's my point. What Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark did, both of those things happen every day on basketball. Why are y'all making Angel Reese a villain? Why did Angel Reese have to hate somebody because she got pushed down and attacked her when that happens every game? That is the dialogue that's being pushed. Hate on Angel Reese. That's what you're missing. It's not a matter of just defending. Right. It's the hate on this woman for what? Why are we hating on her? She's an aggressive basketball player. No, she's not as great of a shooter as Caitlin Clark, but I bet you Caitlin Clark can't out-rebound her. I bet you Caitlin Clark can't get double-doubles as she does. She does her job, and she does it well, but they're making her into a villain, and it's unfair. And what RG3 did was continue to hype up the villain context on this woman for no reason. That's the problem. That's the issue.
Okay.
So let me ask you this. The obsession with critiquing black women's appearance, tone, or behavior. Now, of course, we're looking at, he used tone in this, but let's just speak of any type of things that you see on social media. Black woman's behavior, her tone, her appearance. And again, I know that my timeline is not filled with, actually, it might be filled with plenty of them, but it's probably not as many, as in regards to black women. But in regards to the tone, the comment that they're doing compared to other women of color, do you think that there's a difference there?
Yes, there's a difference.
In regards to negative, or you think it's more negative for us?
It's less on anybody else. It's less hate.
What? Less.
I'm saying there's more hate against black women than anybody else.
So what do you think the obsession is with that?
Racism.
Who? He said racism.
I honestly believe because we as a race and a community actually lead the charge in regards to critiquing our black women, it gives them the excuse to be able to do the same. When we see women out doing videos or dressed in a certain way or whatever, and like the statue that was up, black folks was the most vile against that statue. So now what you do is you give other races an excuse to be able to do the exact same thing. And if somebody say, why you being that way, they can say, well, why can't I? You're doing it.
So help me understand. Are you asking about the way black women are depicted on
The obsession with it, yeah.
the obsession with how
The obsession with it and the degree of the critiques that we see on black women's behavior, tone, and appearance on social media?
I mean, I think that's vast, you know. Unfortunately, if we talk on social media, you know, some of our beautiful black women make themselves to be
Critiqued?
critiqued in such negative ways, you know. I mean, just keep it real, you know. Some of them on social media, you know, the things that we're willing to do for clicks and likes and all the other stuff is it's sad beyond belief. We still struggling with this thing, Dwayne?
Oh, it's buffering?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah.
So let me ask you this. In regards to that, if you see other women of other races posting or whatever, and this is seriously a question because I hadn't, do you see it more, if you're looking at something, I can't say it's the same, but, you know, close to whatever somebody's wearing, whatever somebody's doing in the video, do you see the comments more negative towards black women than you see towards other women of color? Other women of other
there's
races?
two ways you can look at it. I'll just say it because it's the pink elephant in the room. Nobody's saying the black culture has two divides. And I think our biggest negative is every time you say black women, we include everyone in that just because of color. And we say black culture, we include a certain segment of our society that does 90% of the crime in our community. It's the same ones. It's not black people. It's not poor black people. It's the ninjas. And nobody wants to say that. So the ones that are stripping, showing their butts, twerking, allowing their kids to twerk, and then videotaping it, putting on the one that allows a kid to get a gun while she's twerking or doing whatever she was doing in the video, and that went out there. And then they go ahead and double down by posting it. When they post all the gang signs and all the other stuff they do, that's the face that I'm gonna say that the media allows and has been pushed out there. The same people that put rap music in our community, the gangster rap, not rap music, but the gangster rap, and promoted it and told the rappers to get more deadly and everything else, and most of them was soft as tissue paper. And I think that goes back to the fact now, if you look at the algorithms and everything that they're allowed to put out, some of the things that they'll allow, if you show a white kid getting killed, you've seen all these school shootings, but they don't show a single one of those white kids dropping. But every time a black kid shoots another black kid, or a black person shoots another black person, every single time they actually put it out and allow it to stay on the internet, and it gets all the clicks and all the racial comments. Oh, it's them again. And I think we do ourselves a disservice by championing everything somebody, because face it, America is institutionalized racism. But I think we make the mistake of protecting the wrong people too many times. And I think what's happened with our culture, the men and the females, black people really ain't getting on that much on the internet like that. And the ones that do, they're trying to have an intellectual conversation. But the ninjas, what they talk about and what they love to do is twerk and talk about who they're screwing. We're not going to mention the one person because we're not going to get off task. and everything negative that's in our community, the oversexed, the violence, and everything else, they don't talk about the black people that are winning. They're talking about, like your son, with your son and all the other academic achievements. There's a lot of black kids that are getting ahead, but they don't talk about that. They keep on force feeding the worst of the worst and let one of the worst of the worst, while committing a felony, get shot, and nobody wants to pump the brakes on it. It's automatically everybody comes to that individual's defense.
Who are you saying is they?
Hinton, when he run down in the
No. I'm saying when you say they keep force feeding, who's the they you're talking about?
Okay, white media
Okay.
force feeds the black community the fact that they say, oh, that's black culture. No, it's not black culture. That's a small segment that's a cancer to our community, and they keep pushing it, and they keep promoting it. They don't talk about anything positive that can occur in the community. They keep on pushing the negative aspect of it.
Yeah.
And then when there's somebody black that even comes up that's halfway doing good, look at the Sanders situation. That dude came out with, I think, a 3.8 GPA, doing all the promotions and everything else he did. And they didn't talk about that. They just talked about the negative aspect of it, and it was all lies. We didn't come to defend that in the proper way. So I think that's where I think the divide comes. And then everybody wants to judge a black woman. I don't know any black woman that twerks, period. I don't know any black woman that has her ass hanging out walking around, or a camel toe showing, or walking around with, or acting a fool and doing all this stuff. But when it happens, it's put on TV. Even in local news. Let something happen to black area, they're gonna blow it up. But you notice when that white kid went postal, they didn't show a single body drop. They didn't show anything. When it's a black shooting, they'll leave it on the internet and it stays on the internet.
Let me ask you this. Who do you think pushes the algorithm?
Well, you heard the comments from the Peter guy, and I think it's that, and I
That
think
just sound like the album too.
and I think that our culture is becoming a whipping post for America. I think it's pushed by the Republican Party, the negative aspects of it, to make, people were lined up around the block in Utah. So I'm gonna protect my wife from them black people. Well, hell, there's only one black person in the whole town, and they're buying 12 guns. Whites kill whites, blacks kill blacks. That's the way it goes. The stats prove that out. And if you look at the small segment of our community that does all the crime, when we used to do stats in the different zones, it's a handful of people, just joking, but if there was a purge and you took out those 10 to 12 people, the crime stats in those zones would drop by 70%. And I think there's a difference between being poor and ghetto. And I think we've allowed white media to paint everybody black as ghetto. And those people don't have a voice. Why don't they have a voice? Because the ninjas that want to do the gangster rap and talk about Molly and drugs and everything else and the oversexed people, that's the face of a black community. And there's not a single black leader that comes out and speaks against it. And then I think there's nobody that uses reason anytime something happens. What Hinton did, if he would have got the officer that killed his son, it would have been wrong, because I personally look at that video different than a lot of people. But when he runs down an innocent sheriff's deputy that's retired, that was directing traffic to make ends meet, runs it down, and then all these people say, oh, he's a hero, he's a hero, he's a hero. No, he's not a hero. Just like George Floyd was no hero. He was a man that was killed and murdered by a white police officer. But what he did in his actions in life didn't make him a hero. There's a lot of black people that do a lot of good things where we don't have to make false prophets and martyrs out of people that don't deserve martyrdom.
All right, as you can see, we get into it. We get into it. Angelo got something, but we're gonna take this break. We're gonna let Angelo speak on what we're speaking on right now. We're gonna look at some comments. Then we're gonna have two questions. Basically, we're gonna speak about, how are the comments and things of that nature that's going on social media affecting the psychology and the mental health of black women. And then we're also gonna speak on how can we actually protect our black women in real time, as in right now. We'll be right back. Classic Conversations with JT and Low.
And that's a cop.
All right, y'all, we back, man. We back. Classic Conversations with JT and Low.
And that's a cop.
And as you can see, we got a guest showed up. She showed up in here, brat-a-tat-tatting, brat-a-tat-taticized up in here today.
Oh,
What's
Lord.
going on, Jose? How you doing?
I'm good. How y'all doing?
Good deal. We are good. We are good. We good. Angelo.
You got the frameless frames.
Yeah. There's
the
no need to
glassless
having.
frames.
I don't need the glasses, so there's no need of having it in there. So
Okay.
I just, when I take pictures, the gleam comes off so I just take the glasses out. So no need to have them in there. It'd be different if it was medication in there, but yeah, it's no medication, so just keep it going. Angelo, you go over those comments on what we talked
All
about.
right, real quick, man. What in the world? That just got horrible all of a sudden.
Took all the bass out of his voice. All the blackness and the bass.
Yeah,
It did.
hello. What's going on, Dwayne?
Right.
Joe Claw.
Right. Does sound like you're making some announcements, right?
At Walmart. Aisle 2 will be closing in 2 minutes. Aisle 2 will be closing in 2 minutes. Letting the registers off.
Oh, God.
They don't do this in Alpharetta. Oh boy, that's what I'm saying, bro.
It's still there.
The mental health issues the mental health
Right.
issues that we deal with. Just something simple as your Walmart closing at 10:30 instead of having 24 hours. That can really affect you as a person. You know what I'm
Well, that
saying?
happened during COVID, though.
But it's still going right now.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. You know what I've noticed? All the bathrooms at Walmart's in the neighborhoods that are maybe
Yeah, I don't-
lower income neighborhoods, they are terrible.
Yeah, I don't mess with.
Doors falling
I
off.
don't mess with the bathrooms at Walmart. It's Publix. Their bathrooms be on
Homeless
point.
people go in there once.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Publix bathrooms be on point. They be
Yeah.
that smell good in
Hey,
there.
you
I-
in luxury. You
I
at
asked the
Publix.
dude the other day. I said, "Hey, bro, what's that you?"
They were trying to
using,
figure out why
man?
my
I'm using some of
microphone
that."
sounds so weird.
Oh wow,
This is weird.
Or it might be the real you.
It just sounds weird.
Are we live?
Yeah.
Oh, let's go.
I was gonna read these comments, but I just don't. Should I read them like this? Y'all want me to keep going? All right.
It really does sound. It's crazy. It's crazy. Oh boy.
Y'all still.
I can tell it sounds bad. Yeah, do so. We going around.
Hey.
Go back to class. We see you. Hey,
Yeah, Mr. Love.
just read them comments, MJ, while we get set up over here. Don't skip none now.
Okay, let's see which ones we can talk about.
And turn your volume down before you start checking them.
All right. Okay. Acid Cop is the best thing on the show. Okay.
One,
Our
two,
number
one, two.
fan. Thank you, number one fan. I saw the play. Clark followed her and acted like she didn't do the shit. Okay, number one fan. See Tyrone Vick missing the car. Okay.
Read it. You can't be. It's still the mic. It ain't the microphone.
We don't like to talk about. We don't go after Candace Owens and Jason Whitlocks of the world either. We need to demand that these people be taken off the air. Okay. Number one fan. White people expect us to say yes, boss, and bar our heads to their injustice. The white girl disciplines the whole season. Another fan, Louis Bracey, as soon as she was put in the game. All right, her place, people get something to say. Sand Candy, white the shirts. Okay, see. Number one, Acid Cop is my favorite person on the show. Okay. From Frank. Appreciate that, Frank.
That's when you got to pull out your phone to check the receipts. Check these receipts.
Frank said because you're weird. That's why your mic sound that way.
Ain't no
Wait.
that Frank.
I think
Listen, look how Carrie. This is Carrie. What's going on with this day, man?
I think not because you're
And
weird.
Louis Bracey
Yeah.
with Lock is a Tom. Haven't got too much on. Think about all the comments.
Although he skipped a few. Yeah. Other than a jump shot, watch Angel Reese be jealous of Caitlin Clark. We don't. Craig is still a special. I think you did read that one. No, Ryan Clark said RG3 because he is married to white women has never come to the defense of black women. Listen to the whole thing. Clark denigrated all her opponents. Angel Reese gets death threats, which is insane. Frank, middle finger. Now go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Who, how to get on?
But I think it's the cord. Because I just switched. It's the same
switch
thing.
mic, same thing happened.
Yeah, it's the same thing with this mic.
Yeah.
Put it on camera on JT and let him start reading. Just go to,
There you go. Put it right here. Bam. I can work with it. Let's work with it. All right, so we're going to keep it moving as we get Angelo's microphone, checked out. So basically, in regards to social media, because that's, where all of this stuff is happening at, do we think that the negativity with the comments and all of that type of stuff, do we think that that is affecting black women psychologically with their mental health and the way they move going forward? Does it keep them from doing certain things, or to make them do different things? Does it make them be even more into whatever it is that they were doing? So do we think that the comments actually affect black women psychologically and also messing with their mental health?
I would say definitely, because nobody likes to be talked about, and anytime somebody black does something stupid, every black woman has to defend that person, and they ask who's ever on there. It could be somebody with multiple degrees, great job, and somebody twerks. So, well, why do black women twerk? And that person isn't even that demographic that does that. They're not part of that subculture that exists in our community. So they're being held to standards that don't even exist in the black community, because a lot of things they want to portray that black women do, I date. I don't see black women doing that.
So I see what you're saying. You're basically saying that that certain demographic that you're talking about, when they do certain things, if somebody that's actually in reality not of that demographic just happens to do it for fun, they're actually lumped into the same category, is what you're saying.
Not the ones that do it for fun. I'm just saying a regular black woman in her daily carriage, whatever she does, she's judged by the standards of every time somebody from that one demographic in our community that's a cancer, they're judged by it.
That's what
when
that's it.
redneck in a trailer park with a pickup truck and a cat diesel hat on with a rebel flag does something stupid, you don't go to a black Fortune 500 company president or a black football player and say, hey, why aren't rednecks, burning shit down in Texas or Tupelo, Mississippi? They don't do that. But every time somebody of black has to answer for everything that demographic does, and we don't give them that demographic. They push that out because it keeps the rednecks and racists in Ohio and different cities voting Republican. It keeps that culture going of let's hate the black people. They're violent. They do this. They do that. The vast majority don't. It's that same. But what we hurt ourselves is because we try to protect everybody when they shouldn't be defended. Black don't make right. Right
Now,
makes right.
Now let me ask you this. No, go ahead, because I knew.
I was just going to say, I think we are definitely affected, but I think everyone is affected by social media. They've done studies on that to show, that people are more suicidal, they're more depressed, the more hours or the more minutes that they spend on social media. So if you're going to be on a platform and everyone gets to judge you and make, however many comments, then of course. I think about Cardi B when she got really big and she was a millionaire and she was still getting about her life. But anyone would feel that way. I think anyone would feel that way if you were judged minute by minute on every action that you took and you're just trying to enjoy your life and live your life, so.
Now, in regards to that, I do feel that it does affect a lot of women. And, I know MJ that you saying should not be guarded or protected.
Well, you got to call them on their bullshit, because by us not calling them out when they do stupid stuff, it's almost like co-signing them.
And I think that's where, like you said, not when you're saying calling them out, that's actually protecting them.
because it's not. I think if you call on a term like they got white trash, we should call it black trash. And the black trash media keeps on putting that up as being the face of. It's like I can remember I've said it several times on the show when we had the riots first happened in Atlanta, Rodney King riots, and people in the AU Center was marching around. Anytime there's been a calm demonstration in Atlanta, the media people run right to
the other side, yeah.
that one demographic and stick a camera in their face, walk past Morehouse students, Kappas, Alphas, walk right past them and talk to a homeless guy in the corner and got the quote they wanted. That's what the media does, and we have to start recognizing that, but we can't co-sign on it to continue making martyrs out of people that shouldn't be martyrs.
Yeah,
and when somebody does something stupid, we need to say, hey, that doesn't make sense. Why are you putting your children out there twerking? It's not cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say, at least to me, in my own personal belief, I think that the black woman is one of the most powerful beings that was ever created. But I do feel that there is a lot of, the stuff that comes, even at the directed at somebody that's not in the demographic, it still affects certain women. And I feel that they're actually holding stuff in the same way that we did as black men of holding traumas in from when we was a child. I feel that now a lot of black women are, because there are black women that are of substance that may come out every now and then in a nice skirt and it's tight and you're gonna get bad comments. I've seen it. I've seen women that's respectful. They posted a picture of themselves in a nice outfit and people have come at them hard.
Look at the weather lady.
That's-
That weather lady might be
they're
the
coming at-
finest.
And they're coming at
they
they're coming
dog her
at
out.
them.
They're like, what's she gonna do?
They're
She's
coming
just
at them
fine.
hard. I feel that right now black women there's a lot of black women. I can't say as a whole, of course we never talk about this as a whole, but I feel there are a lot of black women that right now are harnessing trauma, mental trauma right now. And right now affect them in the future, no different than what we have had from our younger years and our years coming up, the trauma that we've held. I feel that right now there are a lot of black women that are holding on to that trauma, and I feel that it's affecting them now and it's going to affect them even more later. Right now we're speaking about, a lot of, speaking to people, what am I trying to say? Therapy. So that there will be a call for more next couple.
Man, but United have a lot of us going on is it's all propaganda, the stuff that they want to display, just like to be against each of all these podcasts where people are, the black men are against the black women and vice versa. That is by design, right? For us to look down on each other and to have something negative to say, because if we're divided, then how do we have strong families, right? And the movement of the men actually going to counseling is something that when we had the gentleman the other week that does Ndugu, is that what he does? I mentioned that once the black men start healing, then the families can start healing, right? Because black women have been out here getting degrees and going to counseling. I'm not saying all of us at all, but there's a larger percentage of us that are doing that. So while the media does affect us, I think there's just a larger percentage of us that are already working on ourselves. But when it comes to us, it's like we can't win a lot of times, because if you're too ratchet, they're going to talk about you. If you're too wholesome, they're going to talk about you, right? If you're a hoe, they have something to say. If you're waiting for a good man, waiting for marriage, they're going to talk about you. So it's all by design, and a lot of times people think that there's that is black people posting some of this stuff. I 100% believe that some of it is put out there by white media. They find clips, they do whatever they have to do, and then they put it in these feeds, or they put it on. Because I've actually went through comments a lot of times whenever someone is saying something degrading in the comments, or actually cheering for it, and they have a picture of a black person, and I go to the page, and it's like they have like 5 followers, and I know that's just a fake page to make it look like it's a black person, a black man that's supporting the degradation of a black woman. So yeah, I totally think that social media is vicious right now.
I agree with that, but we also have to look at the breakdown of the black nuclear family has a lot to do with it. And this is the part that is going to tick a lot of people off. I'm not talking about the older generation, but the younger generation. There's never been any examples to them of a proper family. And a lot of the men that everybody's complaining about are men that was raised by young women, and they're hypersensitive, almost feminine in the way they carry themselves a lot of times. So they're over emotional. So when you put somebody with the advanced hormones that women have, and then they were raised by women, their way of handling it isn't the same way that more masculine men or men that had strong uncles or strong grandparents would raise it. Has happened. So a lot of the problems, when you see those guys on the shows, they kind of get zesty when they start getting in arguments with the women a lot of times, because they're reacting on emotion instead of, checking it. Let the woman talk, but you sometimes gotta just say, you know what? I step back. I digress. I'm not in it.
I don't think we're, and I would value your opinion. I don't think, we're really properly equipped to discuss the mental health of women or black women more than a black woman would be. So, but I just think my only point is simply, it's another one of the situations to me where we just don't support each other enough, and we don't celebrate each other enough, and we allow a lot of the negativity to media, and that we, just look at the shares. You'll see some nonsense, it'll get 1 million shares. You'll see something great, it'll get 30 shares. And that's the issue with the social media, JT. That's all I got.
All right, so we're going to close out this last question before we go to the top 5. In regards to protecting black women in real time, as in right now, how do we shift the conversation from slander to either constructive criticism or celebration? Just your opinion. Anybody?
Just by doing what you said. You switch it from slander to celebration, or to, if you see someone slandering a black woman, you speak to her one-on-one. You send her a message. You know what I'm saying? Hey, sis, that might not be the right thing to do, right? Just like you would speak to a young person. I feel like a lot of times we forget. We treat children, we try to treat children with kindness, but once we become adults, we act like people can just take whatever is thrown to us. We're still little kids, right, at heart. We still need to be loved on. We still need to be lifted up. We still need to be supported. We still need to get direction sometimes. I was just telling somebody earlier today, we are tribal people, and we have gotten away from the tribe. Now we're against each other instead of being with each other and for each other. It used to be, when you think about a tribe, when you walk outside of your tent or wherever you're at, it's a group of people, and there's people there to help you raise this baby if something happens to the father. We don't get that, right? There's someone there to help clothe you, help feed you if some things are not going your way. Now it's like they put the weight of the world on a black woman's shoulder, and, like so many women are raising kids by themselves, right? They are expected to be the emotional support, the financial support, the everything to this child, the mental support. This is unheard of. It's unheard of. So yes, women need to be supported and not just always bashed by the stuff they do wrong, applauded for the things that they do right. And also just giving help, just instead of seeing something negative, offer a hand out, or close your mouth.
Ask Carl, what you got?
I think the best way we can support women is the men that have these, because they did a study that most of it's only a small percentage of men that father and whatever percentage of the children. And I think men have to get more involved in the children's lives. You see it all the time. Well, she did this, so I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do this. Just get the motion out of it. Be a man, man up, and be there for the child. You don't have to be there for the woman. A lot of times people let that be the excuse, not being involved in the children's lives. And if your daughter sees a strong male role model, she's going to look for the same in any man she dates. And with the sons, if a son sees you doing right and how you take care of him, you're at his games, you go to the practices, you do the things for him, he's going to know that's what a man's supposed to do. But if the kid doesn't see any of that, that's what perpetuates everything. And now, since it's on both sides, there's so many people in our community, 74% of born out of wedlock, I think we have to have leaders and people of substance that the people to listen to explain the importance of the black nuclear family, because it's not falling on deaf ears in our age group, because everybody either had strong role models, a village concept of raising children. The kids now don't have a village. The village isn't there, and there's no people doing right, so it's become the norm where there's no father involved, or no father seen every day, and that has to change.
I agree, but what about the women that don't have children?
Yeah, because got to get to Angelo. Everything you said, I'm with it. My points that I put down need to be better at checking others from speaking ill of our ladies, and plus the celebration of certain things in the media needs to be checked by us all. In other words, check things before you start sharing it. Just like we was talking about certain things being pushed out in the media. Stop sharing certain things that you don't know where it came from. If, like you said, it may have come from the wrong entity to actually push that crazy propaganda type of deal. Angelo, go ahead, because we got to get to the top five.
I'm just gonna read things I like to talk about. Say, man,
hey,
I'm gonna stick with that.
Hey, bro. Shit, man.
He said you gotta.
I already wrote mine down, so I had to go through them. But go ahead.
No, he says you have a better chance of flying to space in a paper plane. Look at the music that our women sing about themselves. Look at what men sing about our women. I mean,
yeah,
that's a hard one, bro. I mean, the reality of it is, we do fail ourselves a lot of times as a culture, and it's just that simple. And you can say I'm not gonna share these things, but the reality of it is there's gonna be 100 youths that's gonna do it. You know what I mean? If people want to start taking responsibility for themselves, man, just stop doing it. Stop putting that BS out there. Folks get mad at you about talking about what they put out there. They'll get an attitude with you about your comment on something that they posted. Don't post it then. You don't want no comment. Who knew about that was going on in your life? Who knew? You know what I'm saying? So, hey, my word to this answer is accountability.
Bro.
Be accountable to yourself. That's what you want to change something. Be accountable to yourself. What we jump to top five?
Top five. Go on with the top five.
Yeah.
So in other words, it ain't on everybody. It's on you.
It's on you.
Shit, it's on you. It ain't on everybody.
Hey,
it ain't on the whole community. It's on you. And if you start it, everybody follow and do the same thing. The community is saved. So yeah.
I was talking to somebody recently, man. We were talking about these,
as simple as
these
that.
fights and stuff. I said, man, you could not prog me into a fight in public. Because the first thing you're going to do is that joke, everybody going to break them cameras out, man. I don't care. Hey, man, we're going to go to the private room, but you couldn't, hey, man, because all that camera coming out, man, your junk is, why would you fight in public? Why would you give everybody. That's the whole world? And then don't mess around and take an L or get put to sleep.
Don't get starched.
That part.
Don't get starched.
And it can happen to the biggest of us.
Hey, we just seen it.
Yeah.
Man, that junk crazy, man. That way you press charges. Hey, I tell him, that's what I'm going to do. I'm pressing charges, and I'm showing up to court.
Make sure you show up.
Yeah, man, accountability, man. All right, top five conversations the culture needs to discuss about black women instead of the hot takes that we see everywhere. That's interesting.
Very.
Top 5 conversations the culture needs to be discussing.
In the culture, not just women. Okay. Number
Right.
one, I think we need to bring the church together with the population again. So whatever's going wrong where youth don't want to go to the church, preachers need to try to bring them in, and not by watering down the word, but outreach where, like they used to, in Zone 1, I can speak on Zone 1 in the Bluff, you had churches that would feed those kids so they'd go to church just to eat. Well, that's a great reason because they're still hearing the word. Things like that has to happen and I don't care if it's Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, we need to start instilling a belief system in our children at a young age, And 2, I think Trump's doing it through getting rid of the welfare system, but we have to put mechanisms in place where we wean certain segments of our population off. The ones that need it, of course, they need it. Elderly, they need it. Single mothers, they need it. But the people that are abusing the system, it needs to change. 3, we need to stop making every other ethnic group's plight our calling card. We need to stop fighting. Fight as hard for ourselves as we fight for everybody else. Remember when the Ukrainian thing was going down with Russia? Everybody, black, white, yellow, and green, had a Ukrainian flag. When anything goes wrong, when the stuff was going on at the border, we were 100%, oh yeah, we got to stand. But if you notice, anytime when it comes to us, they don't stand the same way we stand with them. So that's one thing. 4th, I think we need to stop this mentality, don't snitch. We have everybody knows which Pookie in their neighborhood does what. And you continue to let that Pookie run around. He's not getting on a bus and going to Buckhead or going to the upper end of Cascade. He's staying in your community and he's raping and pillaging, and you won't say anything. Get rid of it snitching. It's not snitching if the person committed a crime. Don't lie on nobody. And the last thing, get rid of the word simp.
Who?
Simp. They say a
simp.
man's a simp. Mm-hmm. And it's in any man that shows any kind of caring or worrying about the welfare of a woman or taking care of the woman, he's a simp. Just get rid of that word. That's it for me.
Got something? What you say?
I'm still working. I got a few things. I got confused because he started.
Well, it's basically, and I'll give you a minute, I'll do mine. What we should be discussing. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not it. Conversations the culture actually needs about black women. What should we be discussing?
Okay.
All right, for mine, how do you expect a black woman to support you if you are not supportive of her in whatever role she is playing within your life? And then kind of rolling off of that, even if you are supportive of her, but at the same time you're degrading other women, how do you expect for her to believe who you actually are? Next thing is women usually do not choose to be in certain situations. They are usually put into those situations and told to survive in whatever way that they can. Sometimes you have to understand that and look at it from their point of view in regards to supporting and, as you said, helping type of deal. Stop using certain words when we're amongst the guys, because sometimes, some of us won't use the B word or we won't call a woman a hoe if she's around, but then when she's not around, we hoeing and bitching and all that type stuff. I think if you start practicing that when they're not around, it's easier to actually believe that those people are actually not that. And then the number one thing is just
It's
respect.
gonna be a boring conversation.
Yeah, what?
Oh, what? That's crazy. That's wow.
In full
Wow.
transparency.
No, look. Notice I said practice. It can't stop. It's hard to just stop. It's hard to stop. You know.
Wow. We don't do y'all like that.
Oh God. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
You ain't never heard me say that.
Oh God. All right. Well, number one is respect. That's it. Just respect. Recognize that, and I think it'll change a lot of conversations. You ready now?
Yeah.
All right.
So I was just thinking what we could focus on is the same things that men focus on when they have a loving mother, right? Their strength in their spirituality, their success in their field of education, how many black women have pushed themselves, right? Their thrive in advancement. Again, back to their strengths and how they've held down the black man from day one, okay? When black men when we came out of slavery and they couldn't get jobs and all these other things, black women were still there, right, in the trenches with them. And also how they hold down the family / children when the men do walk away.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm just saying those are some conversations to be held, you know.
About 6 conversations in the first one.
That was 5. I counted.
In the first
All
one.
right, let's see here. My mom said women and men no longer have respect for themselves. Things we don't like to talk about. What's up, B? Leave the BBL alone, ladies. Is number 1.
See, that's still being nigga.
Number 2, black men be men again. Number 3, stop supporting those who sell us out. Millennial said the black women are more than the strong black woman type, that black women are supported on a mega level. We just need to stop highlighting their shortcomings. Number 1, per the top 5, this is generational. Some are already lost. Examples of greatness are everywhere. The custodian who cleans, the person who takes time to help, encourage greatness. Frank just chimed in. Stop talking about body counts. That's a good one. We still say N-word too easily on music and otherwise. Stop. Speak to one another when we see other black men. Respect for women is paramount, and mental health. Number 1 says highlight your gifts. Rid yourselves of the fake nails, hair, lashes. Woo!
I don't know about that.
All horses run around here, boy.
Encourage and appreciate your natural beauty.
I don't know about that one.
Right.
Sometimes natural beauty just.
That's one of
Like
those.
saying don't get a haircut.
That's one of those
Because that's y'all
tinker-
makeup. Yes, it is. But that's
Fake
what they talking
eyebrows,
about.
fake
That's
hair,
what we saying.
fake
Yeah, I
titties,
know-
fake
That's what we're
ass.
saying.
All right, let's get to Angela. Yeah, the eyebrows is, you're right. Yeah, that one might be excessive.
All right. So
Flying
I also agree with the education standpoint. And speaking of which, making sure that we highlight those some of those things that happen that aren't pushed in the media like they should be, such as that professor that came from Spelman just takes a job in California, gets murdered by a white guy, and that story has gone silent. You know,
Share that.
while that woman should be, her life should be celebrated. You know what I mean? This was an intelligent young woman who just lost her life for absolutely no reason whatsoever. You know what I mean? Those are things I think, and not necessarily celebrating the death, but celebrating that woman, that life, and the fact that these things can just go right under the radar. But we give all this information on the young man who stabbed the kid, and you know what I mean?
Right.
We just gotta recognize what the two differences are in these cases. You know, economics. I think you mentioned economics as well. I mean, there's some powerful black women out there who are doing their things on a major level. You know, we highlight the folks like the Dallas Mavericks. I gave props to that. Black CFO. You know what I mean? But it's just so many of them that, you know, I think we need to be highlighting more. So that these young black ladies who are in these, out there, even the ones in those communities that are, not as great, but give those young ladies something to look forward to. Give those ladies to show them, pushing that junk in the media and the social media platforms of all the greatness that can come if you'll apply yourself and that you can do X, Y, Z. You don't have to be a baby mama. You don't have to be this. You don't have to set guys up. You don't have to do none of these things. You can actually get out there. Because women are, black women are highly educated. They're the ones who going to school. They're doing these things. You know what I mean? But let's continue to celebrate those kind of things. You said respect. I say self-respect. Highlight those things. But women have to be more, show more self-respect of themselves. Don't allow these things. Don't portray yourself as these things that you aren't. Don't settle for these things, and don't. Everybody can be better. And last but not least, man, I said it before. I say it again. It's accountability. Gotta be accountable. You know what I mean? We have to as men. We have to as black men, but we also need our black women to be accountable for themselves. So.
In their actions. At all times.
Frank's comment
Frank
real quick.
says, shout out to my nephew Asa for his educational compliments recently, and also my baby girl Zoe. That's right, for graduating high school last Saturday night. Congratulations, Zoe. Salute to both, and all are doing great things. Congratulations, Zoe. Real proud of you, young lady.
All right, we're going to close out real quick. Jose, go and let people know where they can follow you.
You can follow me at Jose Sunray on everything.
Spell Jose.
Gyzay Sunray.
Ask a cop quickly.
All right. Ask a cop at MJ. I don't know.
Look.
At Ask a Cop MJ.
Look, I didn't. That's why I didn't ask you.
He didn't put it on. He's always put it
That's
on
why I
slow,
didn't ask you to
man.
do your IG. I was going to let you do some closing comments. Angelo, who at the club this week?
Hey, man, we got
Memorial Day.
Steve Brown, hilarious Steve Brown this weekend, man, all weekend long. Come get your laughs on for Memorial Day weekend. Check out the latest edition of Sit Down at Uptown, man. I think we had Leonard Oots posted recently, and the Sit Down at Uptown, man, is about to be taking a platform. Gonna be out there in Africa soon, man. So, but we trying to keep moving some big things there. Got another potential deal coming up soon with the Sit Down. So, hey Frank, I heard the same thing, man. I was gonna add that to my list. About, she said, why is Lady Cop over there using her sexy voice over there?
I was waiting we was done. I was waiting we was done.
Y'all silly.
I agree. Number one fan. Everyone have a great, safe Memorial Day weekend. Absolutely.
All right, for me, man, if y'all ain't doing nothing on Saturday, daytime party vibes at Tulum Restaurant and Bar. down on Roswell Road. Come through, hang out with your boy. If you got your cigars, come through. I'm going to have a cigar vendor out there also. And I'll close with this, man. We're talking about how to protect women. Just like men are looked at to protect each other, we need to speak to each other about what's going on in our life and being able to release to each other and being able to accept and help. Women protect each other. It's like Angelo said with the self-respect thing, but at the same time, women, stop downing each other. It's crazy when you can't find a group of 4 or more women and all of you are actually friends. Actually protect each other, become friends, rely on each other and watch things just change up a little bit, I feel anyway. So that's gonna do it, man. We'll be back next week. Classic Conversations with JT and Lo.
Classic Cup.
And we out. You dig?